My sobriety date is 9/25/19. I have a sponsor who worked his steps on me, and my sponsor's sitting in the front row. Baby girl, kick it down. That's enough. Well, my story starts out like any other drug addict and alcoholic in the room. I came from a very broken home. I used drugs and alcohol to cope. It led me down a path that I didn't like living and I didn't want to live at the end of my drinking and drugging career. It was a very dark place. I wouldn't listen to anyone. All I wanted to do was feed my addiction, and it led me to a place where I was on the side of I-5 in Grants Pass, Oregon, and I was trying to hitch north, and the thought came to me that I could just step out in front of this 18-wheeler that's going 70 miles an hour and kill me and my dog, and I don't have to deal with it anymore. And something, I don't know what, told me to get off the highway, and I did. And I walked into this little burger stand, and when I walked in, I had the money in my pocket to pay for a fountain drink, and the lady behind the counter was like, "It's normally $1.75, but you can just have it." I guess I looked weathered and beat up from the feet up or something. But I attempted to give the lady the money for the soda, and she just looked me in my eyes and said, "He knows your pain." And I couldn't do anything but cry. And I walked out of the burger stand, and I sat on the stoop outside the burger stand, and I just cried for like a half an hour. And then I made the phone call to my sponsor, and he asked me one question. He said, "Are you willing to go to any length to stay sober?" And I said, "Yeah, but what does that mean?" So my willingness to do anything it took to stay sober started to look like me going to detox and to treatment, and where I met Stacy. And yeah, man, I was just a broken shell of a human being, man. I was broke, busted, and disgusted, and I smelled like a hobo's Band-Aid. But you couldn't tell me I didn't have anything going on in life. I thought I knew it all. I thought, I was hip, slick, and cool, and So I had learned some things in PCN, and people were telling me a lot of things to do. And I would call my sponsor, and I'd be like, "These mother," and I'd hear a click. And then I couldn't get a hold of him for 2 days. And when he finally answered the phone, he was like, "Are you ready to look at your part and what's going on with you?" And I said, "What? My part? Don't you know what's going on?" And he's like, "Yeah, but we all have a part to play in everything that happens in our lives." And I didn't understand that concept. What I did, man, was I put myself in a position and I surrounded myself with people that constantly flipped the mirror back at me and made me look at me. They wouldn't allow me to blame others. And when I got through my first round of steps, see, I've been through the steps like 6 times now, and I'm about to start a tradition study, and I continuously love and have a hunger and a thirst for this program and what it's taught me, because it saved my life, and it's awesome if you want to do it, But what I did with my first round of steps was I went through the motions, right? Because I didn't understand what I was doing. I had no idea. But I knew that the people that had better lives than me, that were further ahead in recovery than me, that had like stuff going on besides sitting on the corner begging for change for a beer, they went through the steps. And I knew if I wanted my life to get better, I had to go through the steps. And so I jump in my sponsor's car, and we're on my 3rd step. And man, I don't spend a lot of time talking about the past, so I hope that doesn't bother anyone. I don't care about the past anymore. It's back there for a reason. You know what I mean? So I hope that doesn't offend anybody, that I don't go into a drug or a drunk-a-log. You know what I mean? I just get to how I got to the solution in my life, and that's where I like to live. So anyway, I jump in my sponsor's car, and he's like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand Him." He said, "Well, how willing are you?" I was like, "I'm willing." He's like, "We're going to get a haircut." And anybody that knows me, when I first started coming around recovery, I had dreads down to here, and I thought I was some ganja Rastafarian ganja farmer dude or something. And, you know, like, for me to cut my hair was a big deal. And I looked at him, and when I turned to look at him, he said, "Get out of my car." And I said, "What?" And he goes, "Get out of my car and go get somebody that'll sponsor you and let you walk around looking like that, because I'm not gonna do it." And I said, "What?" And he goes, and he winks at him. And I said, "Okay, man." So I cried while I got my hair cut. And, you know, it was like that in my recovery. It was every line I drew in the sand that said, "I won't do this," I had to cross that line in order to stay sober. You know what I'm saying? I'll do anything, but I won't do that. Well, that was what I had to do to stay sober. That was what it came down to, me drinking again, or, you know, me staying sober. And that's how recovery has been for me. It hasn't been easy. I've put in a lot of hard work. I've gotten hated on, judged. I mean, you know, it doesn't stop. You know what stopped was my ability. What Alcoholics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Recovery Anonymous, of any kind, whatever anonymous you want to belong to, okay? And I know where the format, this is Celebrate Recovery, but it's still the 12 steps and it's still recovery, okay? So even if you want to belong to this fellowship, you got to do the work. You got to get a sponsor, you got to get in that book, and you got to do the work. And what the steps did was, it took my ability to play the victim away. And it made me take responsibility and accountability for my actions, and made me realize that I have a part to play in everything that happens in my life. Now, when I was a child and things happened when I was a child, I'm not responsible for that. But I no longer need to carry that around with me either. That's somebody else's mess. That's somebody else's toxicity. You know, and I'm not responsible for that. I surround myself with people that, you know, are like-minded, that are recovery-driven and driven to have a better life. I don't go down to the bar and tell them how great I'm doing in AA, because they don't want to hear it. I just don't. You know, my circle's small, you know, because I don't want 100 pennies. I want 4 quarters. You know what I mean? A lot of people in recovery, in the recovery community, know who I am. And a lot of people love me, a lot of people hate me. It doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna keep getting up and doing what I gotta do every single day. I'm gonna make my bed. I'm gonna make a pot of coffee. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna have my quiet time with God, because my sponsor reminds me to do my prayer and meditation every day like I'm 4 years old. But you know what? If I didn't have that kind of accountability in my life, I'd be running off on this thought over here, or, you know, first thing in the morning, my addict brain's going, dude. My alcoholic mind, you know. When I was in New York, I used to attend some like old school meetings, right? I mean old school meetings where like you walk in and they tell you sit down, shut the F up, and don't say nothing until you got a year sober kind of meetings. And this old dude used to say this, and it used to get on my nerves when I heard him say it. He said it every meeting. "I got an alcoholic mind that's trying to kill me." But now I know what that dude meant. Because I have an alcoholic mind that is trying to kill me. It doesn't want to see me happy. It doesn't want to see me succeed. It wants to see me drunk and miserable. Period. And, recovery looks like this today. I get to do a lot of cool things. I get to wake up, not come to. I have a roof over my head. I didn't wake up in a pile of my own puke, piss, and shit. And that seriously used to happen, and I thought that was cool. I get to feed my dog. I get to make a sandwich if I want to, because I have food in my refrigerator. When I got my first place to live, on my own, I thought it was the coolest thing that I had my own toilet and my own roll of toilet paper. Because I lived homeless for 30 years. I was homeless on the streets in every city in this country. I hopped my first freight train when I was 13 years old. By the time I came back, I was 14, had a full-blown heroin addiction. I buried my own son, and he died in my arms, took his last breath in my arms on this planet when I was 24 years old. And I allowed that to destroy me for a long time. But you know what I realized the first time I did my fourth and fifth step? Was I was a selfish, self-centered, egotistical prick. And that I held a resentment towards God for so long for no reason. Because he answered my prayers. I begged him, right? Take my son's cancer away. Heal my son. Make him whole again. I begged and begged and begged. And he did exactly what I wanted. He didn't do it the way Adam wanted it done. And here, that's another thing I've learned in AA, CA, CR, Recovery Fellowship, is that when you ask God to do things, you can't tell him how to do it. I get to go and call people today, and they fill up a room to listen to me speak. That's not me. That's recovery. I get to be a part of people's lives today. I get the opportunity and the privilege to be there for people when they need me. My girlfriend's dad committed suicide right after she got home from visiting him. And I got to be there for her. And had I been drunk on the street corner, that woman would have been alone when she found out. And I don't know how, but I'm a dad again. And I got to deliver my child in a van on the way to the hospital. I just tell you the truth, man. There's nowhere I should be except for face down in a gutter drunk today. Recovery is a privilege and an honor that I get to live today.
Love you, Adam.
And I get to text people that they're turds, and I get to joke around with people today, and I get to have people that have my back 100%. If I called anyone in that back 40 and I told them I'm in need, I'll probably all of them some bitches to show up. you know? And, you know, I don't go without today. I'm not lacking today. And I'm not talking about spirit, I'm not talking about physical, material possessions, dude. I don't lack within myself anymore. I have peace of mind. I've forgiven myself. I've accepted myself. And you know, it's okay to be right where you're at. Wherever that is, it's okay to not be okay. If it ain't all right, it's gonna be all right. I say that to my sponsor all the time. You know, and I've learned that that's 100% truth in my life. And I have to bring it down to simplicity. I have to look at my feet and see where my feet are. Where is Adam right now? What is he doing? You know, today is the yesterday, or today is the tomorrow you were worried about yesterday. You know, it's not easy. There's a lot of painful shit. There's a lot of happy shit. There's a lot of, why am I crying? I don't understand this. Things going on right now. But it's worth it, man. It's worth it. If you gave me a house, my dream car, and $5 million in the bank, and all the drugs, beer I could drink for the rest of my life, dude, I'd be like, no, I'm good. There's nothing, you can't put a price on what I have today. You can't put a price on the friendships that I've bonded with in this room, you know? I mean, I got people that drove all the way from Anacortes to be here tonight. Blaine, Arlington. Wow. It's not even my funeral. That's pretty cool. Yet. But, you know, if you're doubting where you are and you feel like shit, dude, know that every single one of us in this room has felt that or is feeling that right along with you, man. You're not alone. You're never alone. You know? And you know, if you see somebody in this meeting tonight after we get done, after I get done running my mouth about nonsense, you know, get their phone number. Hit them up. You know what I mean? That's how I've stayed sober for 3 years. I've reached out. Well, I was forced. But like everything else in my early recovery, you know, I didn't want to do shit. I wanted it all given to me. And then it started to click that I gotta work for this shit. I gotta put out the effort. You know? And if no one told you today, I love you, you're worthy, you're needed, and you can do it too.